All right, Glade. Glade, all right. I'm going to give you one last shot at this, but there's going to be a little caveat, a little stipulation. It's going to be my butcher shop versus you. And when I win, you can take your little dolly and go the hell home. But for whatever reason, if you manage to get past Steele or cut down Mr. Lucas, hell, if you're lucky enough to get your hands on me and you pin me 1, 2, 3, I'll give you this. But it ain't gonna happen, is it, Glade? By the end of the night, I'll still run this company. Capiche?
We are at the Gateway. This is Devotion Championship Wrestling, and I am Lauren Gardner, the Cicerone. We have got a jam-packed show for you tonight. As we just saw, the DCW heavyweight champion William Cutting has extended, I wouldn't say an olive branch, but at least it is an opportunity for Josh Glade in our main event. Additionally, tonight we will see the last of the semi-final matches of Match Madness between Manny Lemons and Brother Chatwin to see who goes on to the finals, determining the Utah State Television Champion. But first, in our opening bout, making her DCW television debut, future stars of wrestling's Strella takes on the Polynesian Savage, Reka Tehaka. We caught up with both the competitors earlier today.
Strella, and welcome to my queendom. Strella, I know you claim to be the queen of professional wrestling, and I'm sure the people at FSW worships the ground you walk on, but this is Devotion Championship Wrestling. This is my village, and my ainga. Strella, I know you're big and strong, but once you step in that ring with me, you're gonna realize real quick that I'm built different. I am faster, I am stronger, and I can crack your head open like a coconut with my bare hands! Because I am Reka Tehaka! I am the Polynesian Savage! I fear Fusu Sawia.
Reka Tehaka, welcome back to Salt Lake City. Word on the street is you need an opponent. Well, I brought you an opponent. And I'll tell you what, I know you've been training all over the country to better yourself. But you know where you've never been? To Las Vegas, Nevada. You've never been to future stars of women's wrestling. You wanted to be tested? Well, I brought Strella, who's not just going to test you, she's going to defeat you.
And Reka Tehaka, when the bougie baddie of Sin City is done with you, you're going to wake up in the hospital with a broken neck.
Anyone in the company of the MK Bandit, well, I'll let you infer what that says about them. Our own Mills Lane referee Chris has called for the bell. It has sounded, so, well, in that same fashion, let's get it on. The devoted faithful right now letting the bougie baddie Strella know, or at least their prediction, that Reka is going to do some damage.
Reka's gonna what?
Not only does Strella hold herself higher than most other professional wrestlers, at least according to herself, but literally she is taller than them all with a actual reach advantage on Reka Tehaka. It's not often we find a female opponent that is taller than Reka, but in this case, Strella, standing 6'2", has a few inches on the Polynesian Savage. Tehaka taking the ribbon there from Strella in good stride. Of course, for those AEW fans out there, got a chance to see Reka Tehaka make her debut with that promotion, going up against the powerhouse that is Jade. The powerhouse she's dealing with right now, though, standing tall, as I mentioned earlier, and strong. Reka comes off the ropes, goes for another shoulder tackle. Not able to do it. Looks like she's been training with Manny Lemons, perhaps. Comes back again, goes off the ropes, and this time puts some shoulder into it. Gives her that sour power that her husband is so known for. Goes for the cover, 1. Strella gets a shoulder up at 1.
Are you serious? Shut up!
Strella jab jockeying with the fans, and Reka is ready to do some damage, catches an arm and goes for a takeover, but Strella stands her ground, taking Reka now off of the ropes. Reka rebounds and goes for a tilt-a-whirl head scissors takeover. That's how it's done. A look of surprise on Strella's face. Well, she's got another surprise coming with a basement drop kick from the Polynesian Savage. Reka's fired up, and she has got the devoted faithful equally fired up. We're gonna see it one more time. Reka's giving the devoted faithful what they want. Strella wanting a bit of a timeout here. Referee Chris continues with the count. Tehaka comes off the ropes, goes for the baseball slide. Strella gets out of the way and blocks a roundhouse, delivering one of her own, catching Reka by surprise right in the chin. And look at the power that we are seeing from Strella. She easily tossed Tehaka back into the ring. Oh, and a rake of the back. Reka Tehaka taken off her feet, perhaps taken by surprise herself, as Strella, the bougie baddie, puts those designer boots into Reka's chest. Oh my goodness! A hip attack to that already damaged chin, shaking the ring. And now Strella hanging Tehaka on the ropes. Oh, again, right back to that chin. I tell you what, folks, there is no better officiating in the Intermountain West than there is right here at DCW, and referee Chris holding up that standard, letting Strella know she's not going to get away with anything. However, she's looking for the choke. Her finisher, Reka, able to counter with a right cross of her own, right to the button, but not phased is Strella as she comes back, hammering down across the upper back of Reka Tehaka, and a boot to boot. I tell you what, folks, I can't think of a better booking to start off tonight's episode, and we appreciate the future stars of wrestling, FSW out of Las Vegas, for seating to have Strella here in Salt Lake City at DCW. Of course, you can see many other of the future stars of women's wrestling in their fight archive, but there is one shining right now, and like her namesake, she is shining, but perhaps for the wrong reasons, as again, referee Chris issues a verbal reprimand to the bougie baddie. Now that Reka has been able to get off of the ropes, the bougie baddie does come back, tossing the Polynesian Savage into the turnbuckle, and follows up with a football sled repeatedly now into the midsection. The referee not happy about the use of the corner, again having words with Strella. Strella now goes for the cover, 2. Reka Tehaka kicks out at 2. And I just have to ask the question, when was the last time we saw anyone here at DCW handle the Polynesian Savage as is Strella right now? I am extremely impressed with the power that she is showing. Speaking of power, a monstrous belly to backside suplex. Reka is in a bad spot, and Strella looks to capitalize on her advantage. 2. Tehaka still in it, kicks out at 2, and the bougie baddie Not happy with the results thus far. But you've got to hand it to Reka Tehaka. She has shown all the heart in the world that we know she has with the never give up, never say die attitude. She's looking for a comeback, but again, the power that is Strella. Oh no, no. This could be it for Tehaka. In the very dangerous reverse electric chair position, she fights back, raining down blows to the cranium. Strella, seeing herself losing the advantage, sheds Reka as quickly as she can. Reka, not wanting to lose the momentum, shoots in. Oh, but is caught and planted forehead first into the turnbuckle. Tehaka, not seemingly phased by the blow to her forehead. Strella looks for a second, but folks, there is perhaps none save Masato Tanaka who has a stronger, more sound head than Reka Tehaka as she is showing Strella right now. Facing Strella with the devoted faithful behind her, Tehaka counters a roundhouse with a headbutt. But you would think being introduced to DCW by MK, he would have told her that Reka Tehaka's forehead is her most dangerous asset. Strella down and feeling the full effects. Tehaka also feeling the effects, but is able to remain a pay. Cocking back the hammer, she's ready to release the field joggy to Strella's head. Firing herself up along with the devoted faithful with the Saasa, Tehaka is looking to put a fine point on the end of this bout. Clutching Strella in a claw, she goes for the coconut crusher into a pin, two. No, Strella still able to get a shoulder up and break the pinfall. What more has Reka got to do to keep Strella down? A head drop chin buster again to that vulnerable chin of Reka's. Strella now looking for the choke her. She's got it locked in. And down goes the Polynesian Savage.
What? Huh? It's over.
To the dismay of the devoted faithful, I think Strella may be right. Two. No, she's not. Tehaka with more fight left in the tank. The match continues.
You can't count.
Frustrated, the bougie baddie now takes it out on referee Chris, but he is not having it. And the devoted faithful are happy to see the president of the Academy of Bougie Bad and Thick put in her place. But right now, her place is the center of the ring with Reka caught in a fireman carry. Fighting back, the Polynesian Savage is able to escape. Oh my goodness! A finishing Papu goes for the cover. That's it, folks. Reka Tehaka is victorious.
And your winner, the Polynesian Savage, Reka Tehaka.
Up next is the semi-final match for the Utah State Television Championship. Standing backstage with MK is brother Chatwin.
Manny Lemons, you decide to come back to the state of Utah to become the Utah State Television Champion. You know what? It's not going to happen. You can try, but it won't happen. Just like Brother Ass, Tin Man, tried to take this title from this gentleman. You're not going to win the television title. And you know why? Because he is on track to be a two-time champion. And that's why the Prophets of Destruction have taken over Devotion Championship Wrestling. With me, Chatwin, Tombstone, we're taking everything and leaving nothing for the rest of you marks. And you know what's the greatest thing about it? There's nothing anybody can do because we're here to stay.
This is it, the semi-final match of Match Madness, seeing who will face Leo Wolf to determine the inaugural Utah State Television Champion. Manny Lemons fired up, goes into a collar and elbow tie-up with brother Chatwin. Chatwin, the demonic deacon of the Prophets of Destruction, levels Lemons with a shoulder tackle. Looks like he's been watching film on Manny, but not enough film to avoid being tossed right over Manny's hip. Another deep arm drag, followed up by a third. Manny is fired up, folks. He is getting the devoted faithful behind him. And brother Chatwin looks for a rest in the corner while MK complains. Now coming back, Chatwin on the offensive, putting a boot and now fists into the side of Manny's head, into the back of Manny's head. Lines up Lemons. Lemons comes off the ropes and a back elbow puts Manny on his own back. Brother Chatwin not finished, taking advantage while Manny's down to bend the rules a bit. Referee Chris, as we've seen him do throughout the night, ensuring a fair shake for all competitors. And as Manny is thrown outside, I doubt he'll get a fair shake. Of course not. As MK, blatant disregard for the standards here at DCW, while Chatwin plays the part of the fool, keeping referee Chris tied up in palaver. Yeah, MK, you happy with yourself? Of course he is. No one's a bigger fan of himself than Matthew Robles. Meanwhile, back in the ring, Chatwin with a side headlock takes over and down. Manny Lemons has not released that headlock. He has got it clinched in tight with an S-grip. I know that nothing would make the Prophets of Destruction happier than to have the first ever dual champion in their stable, and Chatwin is doing all that he can, along with the efforts of the MK Bandit, to ensure that the Prophets hold such an accolade. As Chatwin admonishes Lemons to say quit, Manny gets to his feet. Chatwin, though, looks for a suplex. Manny able to drop his center of gravity and block it. Reverses, and now delivers his own suplex. Lemons perhaps realizing that this is not the brother Chatwin of the brother Smith once he mentored not too long ago. It is time to take off the kids' gloves and show brother Chatwin what the Sour Power is all about. Manny able to block 2 roundhouses, delivers 3 chops to the side for Chatwin's face. Whips Chatwin off the ropes and brings him down with a lariat. Calls a second, no, into a sidestep back elbow. Looking to drive the point home. A scoop slam puts brother Chatwin on his back. Manny Lemons showing visible gains from his work in Georgia. There is no doubt in my mind he wants nothing more than to become the inaugural Utah State Television Champion. He was looking for the lemon drop, but Chatwin responds with a sky-high, at least for him, drop kick. MK claiming it's over. Great Jehoshaphat! It's Brother Austin! Brother Austin coming to the aid of the man, the brand, the king of the lemonade stand. Tossing Manny a lemon. He bites the sour, ladies and gentlemen, to get the power. Brother Chatwin, who is unaware, spills the full effect of the lemon drop. He goes for the cover. And that's it, folks. The Prophet falls to the lemon drop.
And your winner, Manny Lemons.
This leaves Leah Wolf and Manny Lemons to duke it out next week to determine who will be the inaugural Utah State Television Champion. Stay tuned, our main event is coming up next for the DCW Heavyweight Championship. Will the Butcher Shop defend Cutting's title against Josh Glade?
Let me tell you something, boy. You're like a bad case of herpes. You just keep coming back.
This film is concerned with the narcotic drug, false pride. There are among us those who rebel against the rules, refusing to recognize they are a matter of common sense. This is the situation we face. It is the concern of this man, of you, of all of us. The man and the machine.
Mayday, can you read me? Over. Can you read me? Mayday, this is an emergency. Can you read me?
For the show-off himself, it may be difficult to coldly recognize his desire for attention and how badly it is affecting his judgment.
The main event of what has been a phenomenal show so far, a 3-on-1 handicap match for the DCW Heavyweight Championship, of course held by William Cutting. Cutting doing whatever he can to get revenge, to take his ounce of flesh out of Josh Glade, which in this case means putting up his title on the line. Cutting is calculating, if nothing else, so I'm sure he has weighed the odds and he believes them to be stacked in his favor. Right now, starting things off, Cutting not wanting to get his hands dirty, sends Steele in to do his dirty work. And right now, Glade standing strong. Of course, trying to keep these cats corralled is our referee, Ian. I've said it once, I've said it before, folks. No better officiating in the Intermountain West than there is right here at DCW, and we appreciate all of our officials. Steele now switching gears, focusing on these thigh kicks rather than trying to take Glade down with tackles. Now with a slap to the face, Glade setting the doll in the corner. Perhaps she has awakened this friendly giant. Not backing down with a slap across the face, dodging a roundhouse, but now dropped to her back by Glade and his sheer girth. Steele, realizing she's in trouble, tags in the insurance policy, Mr. Lucas. Mr. Lucas, a physical specimen to say the least. It'll be interesting to see Glade when he goes up against someone that is comparable in size and perhaps superior in strength. With a draw of a collar and elbow tie-up, Glade not sure what to do. Goes at it again, the two tied up. Rarely have you ever seen anyone able to go eye to eye with Josh Glade. Again, another stalemate. Glade not backing down. Mr. Lucas extending a hand for a test of strength. We will see who is the superior in the muscle department. It is no secret who the devoted faithful are backing in this bout. Both men now engaged in a Greco-Roman knuckle lock. Down into a reverse position. The two pressing. This is where the pectoral muscles come into play heavily. Now switching over to an overhand grip for Mr. Lucas, working his deltoids, not breaking eye contact, looking to intimidate Glade. Glade now coming back strong, and Cutting interjects himself like the anti-vaccine that he is. Referee Ian immediately steps in and begins the count to remove Cutting. But with a Kojima-style lariat, Mr. Lucas gets the upper hand thanks to Cutting's distraction. And that is the power that I was talking about. Mr. Lucas scoops and slams the big friendly giant Josh Glade. With the use of the ropes, Glade able to get back to his feet, but Mr. Lucas is unrelenting, not giving an inch as Glade hangs grimly across the top rope. Ref Ian giving a verbal reprimand and the count to Mr. Lucas. Glade finds himself, oh gosh! Of course, cuts the corners of any obstacle, of any sense of honor and decency, of any ounce of devotion to this sport. As I said at the beginning of this match, if cutting is anything, he is cunning. And looking with the odds clearly stacked behind the butcher shop, he tags himself in and directs Mr. Lucas to launch him across the clavicle and chin of Josh Glade. Taking pot shots to the button, now to the breadbasket, Josh Glade finds himself being used as a body bag, cutting tags in steel, and continues calculating the orders from the corner, directing another tag now with Mr. Lucas. The insurance policy for the butcher shop comes in and throws Glade to the center of the ring. Glade is in a very precarious position right now as we see a single-leg Boston Crab, and Mr. Lucas is fully reclining back into the lumbar of Josh Glade. Glade using his strength, trying to drag himself and Mr. Lucas along with him, looking for, yes, he's looking for the doll, his sense of inspiration, his only friend in the world. With that power, he sheds Mr. Lucas. He tucks the doll safely into his jumpsuit, though visibly affected by the Boston Crab, delivers a power drop to the insurance policy, taking the time to make sure that the doll is with him throughout the rest of this match allows Mr. Lucas to tag in Cutting. But Cutting rushes into his own destruction as Glade drops him twice with a lariat, now with a stiff boot. He scoops up the champion. Cutting desperately able to escape, now rushes in to tag Steel. Steel comes into the ring, but Glade able to scoop her up onto his shoulders. Oh, knocking Cutting off of the ring. Now goes for the pin. That's it! That's it! Ladies and gentlemen, he's done it! He's done it! We have ourselves a new DCW champion!
Your winner and new DCW heavyweight champion, Josh Glade.
A man who has faced so much adversity now stands tall. Congratulations. Folks, I'm being told we need to throw backstage.
Austin, you know what? You screwed up history. And so you know what? You are history. We're going back in time to the Old Testament. And it's gonna be a book of the damned match. You know what that means? That means you win, you get this core championship. He wins, you can no longer follow the good book.
Now I will kill you.